Activate.
All right, everybody, welcome to This Pink Cloud. I am DJ Kelly Reverb. Thank you,
Hell
Chad.
yeah.
Now we've got it all dialed in.
Oh,
right?
yeah, dude.
Right. Hey, be sure to subscribe, like all that good stuff. We are a weekly podcast on recovery, really to recovery. We're a weekly podcast to recovery.
Yeah, dude.
Well, anyway, so multiple pathways to recovery, mental health, all that good stuff. Speaking of mental health, my good friend Chad Lamons.
Woo! Woo!
And we are on the third episode, so we don't know how caffeinated Chad is.
Hey, who, me?
Who, me,
Who,
brother?
me?
Who, me?
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, dude, thanks for coming out, man. How you
No,
been?
man, don't thank me, dude. Thank me.
Okay.
Don't thank me for coming out, dude. Just thank me.
Okay, you got it, buddy.
Say it.
Thank you.
Say it.
Thanks, buddy.
Say it.
Okay, cool. Anyway, but I am excited to have this young man on the show, and I appreciate you filling in last minute because we had a last minute cancellation. But I always reach out to our good buddy Josh Jordan at Cardinal House.
Shout out Josh Jordan.
Yeah,
Man.
shout out Josh Jordan. And he was like, "Oh well, I have a house manager that would love to be on your show," and
Yeah.
ta-da! Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kyle Thompson.
There you go.
You get the hallelujah music.
Bro, the noises are everything. I'm loving it.
Dude, don't encourage Chad, please.
Just encourage me, dude.
But excited to have you on. I know you are currently working as the house manager at the Cardinal House Dallas,
Yes, sir.
which is a great organization, right?
It's wonderful.
They have like, 3 locations now?
3.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Mhm.
okay.
And they have a step down as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, they have the 3 locations. They have Frisco, Plano, and Dallas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that new
Yeah.
Plano house is super nice, dude.
It's sick. It's
Right.
sick. Yeah.
Well, so let's hear the backstory of where things went awry for a young Kyle.
For young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll just shoot it straight with you. Like I have struggled with like the in and out, the recidivism of just like addiction and all of that for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did it all start? Like, I mean, did it start off with innocent like drinking or?
So yeah, I would say that like. I mean, it was like smoking weed out of an apple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know?
Out of a Coke can.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Right.
I think I did that and drinking when I was in my like early teens.
Okay.
And then it just kind of like progressed.
Mm-hmm.
I was always really like very well balanced in school.
Mm-hmm.
I always had really good grades.
Mm-hmm.
I always like managed well. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I was like top of my class.
Sure.
Like top 10% of my class. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like got offered like academic scholarships.
Okay.
Things like that. And I just
Are we talking like valedictorian, almost borderline salutatorian stuff?
close?
Or, yeah. Okay.
Close. I mean, I was close.
Are we
I
talking
wasn't
like Dean's List style?
Dean's List. Yeah,
okay.
Dean's List for
Okay.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely was a Dean's List like kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just managed well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like school was never really like
A challenge.
a challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so I think that in doing the like the drugs and the alcohol
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of all of that, like I was just like, oh, I'm good. Like I can manage well. I can.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that like that's just where it was at.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Right. Well, if you nothing is a challenge to you, and if you can handle that and then still present well and
For sure.
do everything that is thought
Yeah.
you should be doing, then you're good to go. Right?
Then we get to start creating our own challenges.
right.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah, and so I think that like what happened is like in the midst of that, like my mother, like kind of like knew, like, hey, like I think that something's going on. You need to be closer to your dad, and like kind of like started interjecting some things, right? Like some things started coming up. Like she caught me smoking weed at the house, and like was like, oh, this is the end of the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So for a mother that's never.
Kyle's smoking grass.
He's been doing the pot.
Kyle's been taking pot. Yes, I gotcha. Yeah, we need to ship him off somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. Not
Where's the
ship-
nearest
not-
military school?
Right.
Yeah. Not to ship him off.
Right.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So it was a moment in itself, but like I continued to manage well. So high school is what it is. I graduated top 10% of my class. I like got all the sashes in the, like
Right.
National Honor Society,
Oh, yeah.
like Dean's List, all that stuff. So it was like I presented well.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just like it. I never really like saw any repercussions for my actions.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like I'm good.
I can achieve.
well.
I can achieve,
sure.
and then I can party on the side. And I'm good.
Did you
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
you were getting one over on the world because you were able to
I
do all that
must-
stuff when you were high?
I most definitely did. I was like,
Yeah.
Chad felt
I'm
the same.
a baddie.
Chad,
you know?
Yeah.
Chad felt the same way. Chad was proud of his actions.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's like, oh, I can get through the day stoned, dude.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
And nobody knows.
Right.
Yeah. So it is what it is, right? But like what happened is like I was 18. I was offered a full ride to play tennis at a 3A school, which is it's 3A. It's not
sure.
It's not that serious.
But still,
But-
full
but
ride.
full
Yeah.
ride, and I turned that down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I turned down this opportunity because I was like, I want to get high.
That's gonna cut into my. That's gonna cut into my party schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And I
Tennis and athletics is going to not involve smoking weed out of an apple.
Wait,
Yeah.
can you smoke weed there 24/7? No, dude, I'm gonna turn that down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm out.
yeah. So it was in Wichita Falls. And,
Okay.
And so I don't know, man. I had all these opportunities. I was like, I want to go to tech. I convinced, I did the whole I convinced my father that I was going to go to tech and eventually get into tennis there. But he paid for my first semester at tech. I'm from Lubbock originally.
Okay.
Right? So I moved to Frisco. My junior year, got recruited to play tennis. Was doing really well. And I just was convinced my dad, hey, I'm gonna go back to Lubbock.
Right.
Lubbock's where it's at.
Right.
Well, what he didn't know is that I tried meth for the first time in Lubbock.
Okay.
Right. And so I was just chasing this
Now,
It's
how
not-
did it just so happen? Was it like a club experience or like
It was
one of
not.
your friends or
with my best friend. So my best friend Tyler,
Uh-huh.
he was my homie. We were born on the same day. Our social security numbers are 3 digits off.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were born in the same hospital,
Right.
and we were both bro. I'll be honest. We were conflicted. He was playing the I'm straight, blah blah blah, but he was gay,
Right.
and I was gay,
Right.
and so we just had this instant connection. It was bro, I
Were
feel-
you were you playing the straight role as well?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be authentic and
That's
real with
okay,
you.
yeah.
As real with you as I
Please
can
do.
be. So I did all of that. I didn't know who I was.
Did you have a fake girlfriend at some point?
I
yeah.
did. Oh my god, her name was Erin. She was a baddie. She was a baddie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't. Sorry, the
That's
stool
okay.
was a little slip. So I was
That would be a first. That'd be a
Would
first.
it
Just
really?
falls out of his
Oh my
chair,
god, I'm
dude.
sorry. I didn't know.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. So Erin, I did the whole
Present straight thing. Yes.
for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it was just
Straight and sober, baby.
it wasn't.
What was it?
That
Do
wasn't-
you
Not
think
smoking weed at all.
But do you think that also added to maybe hey, I need to fucking cut loose because I can't be myself? Do you know?
Yeah. I think that I just didn't. man, I just wanted to be everything that my mom wanted me to be.
Okay. So living up to expectations
Yeah,
set by your
I
mom.
wanted
right.
to
Yeah.
I wanted to present well. I wanted to have this like idea and this like look about me that was like, you know, like I'm doing all the things.
Right.
And like
You wanted to be
me- and, like-
quote unquote normal. Is
Yeah,
what it,
for
yeah.
sure.
Or what it's perceived to be.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it. Man, it was tough.
Yeah.
Like, I get emotional. Like I struggle so much with like my mom. Like I wanted to tell her like, hey, like this is not me. You know what I mean? Like I'm different.
Yeah.
And like she wasn't about it.
Yeah.
She wasn't about it.
She
And
didn't.
So
did you ever try to come out to her?
I did.
And then she just would like go.
she shut it down.
She would just go like thump fingers in the ear and just like
you
I
need to
don't
be
believe
close to
you.
your like, and that's where the
Dad.
like you need to be closer to your dad. We
Ah.
moved from Lubbock to Frisco.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like she thought that like
Right.
me having my father influence would
Right.
would change things. And,
Sure.
Like, it was just like it was a struggle. I never really felt like I really like connected or fit in because I was different.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
and so yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Right. Well, and then the drugs enter the scene, and
For
you
sure,
started-
yeah. So
You tried crystal meth because with your best friend.
Yeah. I tried crystal meth for the first time, but like even with the crystal meth, it was like, okay, like this is not like I can't like crystal meth is not like readily available to me at this time, but like MDMA is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I became friends with like one of the biggest drug dealers in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Like I moved him in with me. My mom had moved. So my mom built a house in Keller, and I lived in her apartment because it was already paid for my senior year. So my senior year of high school, I'm living at home,
Kind of unsupervised.
unsupervised.
Yeah.
I move a drug dealer in, and we're buying like 2,000-3,000 ecstasy pills from the Chinese mafia.
Oh.
Like you know what I'm
nice.
saying? Like
Yeah, this is before dark web.
before,
where you can just-
dark web was
yeah.
not a thing.
Yeah.
Like we're you know what I mean? Like it's Afterlife, Insomnia.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
dude.
mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I
we're-
used to DJ at Lizard Lounge, so
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I'm selling ecstasy to the owner
Right.
of Afterlife, and like Lizard, like I mean I frequented Lizard Lounge, but
Yeah.
that wasn't like my spot. But
Right.
like
You were more on the afters.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Insomnia, like and my best friend Ash. Well, I don't know if I should say these people's names.
Right.
My best friend, like her dad was in the medical field and like he was buying ecstasy from us, and so it's just like I never really had to like worry about money or
Right. Sure.
like where to go or like to do anything, and so that was my gig. My senior year of high school, I was like, I managed well, I did good, like in school, I passed all my tests, I graduated like top of my class, and I was like
Yeah.
selling ecstasy.
Rolling your nuts off.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, bro?
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, like I'm really doing things. You know what I mean? Like I didn't.
I'm going
feel-
places. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my shit
Yeah.
together. But then the whole time, but the whole time, then you're also like, oh, I'm living a double life because I'm not being my authentic self
Correct.
in front of my mom too, which you know, which is a tough weight to bear. You
For
know,
sure.
for sure.
It was just like I can't be my true authentic self. I was like putting on this show for
Well,
all
and
of
your
my-
mom won't let you be your true authentic self at that time.
At that time, no. Like now she's very accepting
Yeah,
and loving
sure.
and caring. And like my mom is my best friend now.
Right.
But like in that moment she wasn't.
Right.
Right. And like so I was like presenting to all of these like people. Like I was like, hey, like this is who I am and this is what I'm about, and like we're good. You know what I mean? And like but deep down I knew that like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I just
yeah.
was like so conflicted.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
no,
for
I
sure.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. well, so this is happening, and then so you've got this empire side hustle going on, and then like what happens
At
you
Tech.
after that, and what happens at Tech?
So I started at Tech, and within like 2 weeks, I stopped going.
Okay. Hey, that you know what? That's kind of normal
Yeah.
because I figured that out when I went to community college. I was like, nobody gives a shit if I go or not. You know?
Yeah. I was 18. I stopped going, and I'm just gonna shoot straight with you. Like
Yeah.
I learned how to make meth when I was 18.
Okay.
So I learned how to make meth. I also learned how to make GHB. And
Oh,
so
there you go.
I started like making cut for a large distributor in Lubbock. So one of the largest
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name names, but like
yeah.
the task force kicked my door in when I
Okay.
was 18.
Right.
So I started making cut for a large distributor, and like that's what it is, right?
Right.
And so in the midst of all of that,
So when you say cut, and just for those people that don't know, it's basically when you take a pure product and you step on it
step on it a little bit,
to
just a little,
yeah.
just a little.
But in order to
but-
make the product last longer for
Correct.
distribution.
So what would happen is if she would give me, like, I would say, hey, I have X amount of cut, and she would cut that in half and give me the real,
Right.
and I would just kind of like trade her
Yeah.
for
sure.
that. And so that's what happened. I mean, that happened for a solid 8 or 9 months.
Right.
And then I got wind of her getting busted.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, so like they're coming for me.
Right.
Essentially,
I'm
like
next.
I'm gonna like
Yeah.
something's gonna happen. And so I got most of the stuff out of my apartment and stuff, but like the task force kicked my door in. And like these are things that like even my mother doesn't know about, right? Like like it was a very scary situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They kick my door in. They show pictures of us together at like Walmart. We're at the
Right.
like at the what is it? The car wash. Like our car wash was our place. Like
Right.
the car wash, Walmart, and they're like, "What is your involvement with her?" And I'm just like, "Hey, like I don't, like." I don't know.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm still kind of like I don't know if I should say everything.
Right.
But I just was like, yes, I was involved with her. This is what it is. And like, and they were like, well, you need to either get out of Lubbock and figure out where you're going because we don't
Right.
have anything to
Yeah.
prosecute you on.
Right.
Right. Like we basically don't have enough information to like, but we need to know like,
we
what's
know you're bad.
Involved.
We know you're adjacent in
Correct.
somehow. Yeah.
for sure. And so that was my first like outcry
Right.
to get help.
Right.
And so I reached out to my mother and I was like, hey, I want to go to treatment. And so the first time I went to treatment was when I was 18.
Okay.
And so I say all of that to get to the point of like, I've been to treatment 20 times.
Oh, okay.
I've been to 30 plus sober livings.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to.
Well, how old are you now?
I'm 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't want to go too deep on the war stories and all of that, but like
Yeah.
I qualify.
Yeah.
Most definitely I qualify. And I think that like just
Well, dude, would you say because like a lot of people?
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to navigate.
No,
like,
it's
this.
all good. Hey, you
Yeah.
share what you want. Share what you
For
want.
sure.
That's what I always say. And leave out the names, and we're good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I'm thinking like because a lot of people that have the recidivism, you know, it seems like they don't ever really hit a rock bottom, you know, or they don't have anything. You know, they keep on getting bailed out. Or you know, it's nothing because there's no real repercussions like, oh shit, I'm in jail, you know, for a year now. You know,
Correct.
there's no real, you know, bottom line. I mean, do you think that maybe that might be a part of it, or do you think that, you know, are you honestly fooling yourself that every time, oh, I've got it now?
So I think that like what happened is like I was incarcerated for about 7 months
Okay.
in 4 different counties. I didn't actually make it to like state jail or anything like that.
Right.
My charges got dropped.
Okay.
But like regardless of that, like what happened is like in that moment of incarceration, like I got out and I still used.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is like, regardless of the consequences, like
Mhm.
regardless of the things that are happening in my life, like I continue to get high.
Mm-hmm.
I continue to use.
Right.
Right. So like that was my like
That was
clearance.
your like.
Yeah, it
that
was
was your
like- I was
default
like-
mode, and you would always just go back
Mhm.
to it because that's what you knew, and that's kind of how you operated.
For
right?
sure.
So-
It was a like awakening
Uh-huh.
moment, you know, like I was like, wow, like no matter what happens, regardless of circumstances, regardless of like jail
Mhm.
or incarceration or bro, like I've seen some crazy shit
Mhm.
in my addiction dealing with those people, right? Like people,
Well, yeah.
people getting killed,
Oh,
people
yeah.
like things that I've had to do to someone, right? Like things that are like things that you don't want to talk about, right?
Uh-huh.
Like like regardless of that stuff happening in incarceration, like I continue to get high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what?
Why am
What-
I doing this?
Yeah, and like that was my like that was my like probably my experience that was like, oh wow, like
right
no matter what.
here. No, you
Move
moved the
that.
mic.
Yeah, you moved the
Oh,
mic a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sorry,
we go.
I'm
No, it's all
sorry.
good.
Yeah, so I think that like in that experience, I was like, wow, like no matter what happens, no matter what is going on, I continue to get high.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like incarceration, people getting killed in front of me,
Right.
like things I've had to do to others, like
Yeah.
drive it, like dead bodies in the back of a car, like, and I'm driving
Oh,
this
wow.
car, you know, like crazy shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And like. I
Like
get-
stuff you would see in a movie,
Bro,
and,
like
yeah.
yes, I was like literally on the way here. I was like, I don't know. What
Well,
to share.
whenever
Yeah, yeah.
you're involved with the Chinese mafia, I'm assuming some serious shit goes down.
It's weird, and like in the moment you're just like thinking like, in the moment you're like, oh, I'm good. Like
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good.
Right.
But then like as time goes on, I'm like, what was I?
Well, yeah.
What was I doing? You know
maybe
what I'm saying?
maybe I wasn't good.
I
Right.
wasn't good.
Yeah.
And so I think that like just the experiences of like all of that and like being incarcerated and like dealing with all of that stuff and then getting out and then still choosing to use drugs and alcohol, it was
Mm-hmm. Right.
like, okay, like
Right.
no amount of consequences is going to stop me from doing this.
Right.
Yep.
And that's where like the, you know, like it talks about in the book, like, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to share.
Yeah,
You can,
you can.
yeah.
Yeah, like it talks about in the book is like, are we gonna go on to the bitter end, or are we gonna choose the spiritual? Like,
Yeah, the
choose spiritual help?
jaywalker.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Right.
like go on to the bitter end, or like choose
Yeah.
spiritual help, and like that was such a hard decision for me. And, like,
Yeah.
dude.
Why-
Yeah.
It's
why
like, would
is
you
that-
rather die or you want to just find like a spiritual solution? That's everybody's
Yeah.
issue.
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the fact that like I had to think about that,
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
go on to the bitter end or accept spiritual help, and
Right.
I'm just like, well, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Bitter end sounds
How
pretty cool.
how bitter is that end?
Are we talking
And
about
are
like?
we talking
are
like
you talking like
next-
butterscotch? Or are we talking
Okay.
about like?
Or are we talking like next week? Are we
Yeah,
talking like
yeah,
what's my
bro.
time window, dude?
Yeah.
What's my time window on that
sure.
bitter end?
Yeah. So I think that like coming to that point and being like, okay, like I've got to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's like what projected me into. So like I went to Brazos, like Brazos, like
Shout
Shout
out
out
Brazos,
Brazos.
yeah.
yeah, shout out to Brazos, right? And then like I'm in Cardinal, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm like in Cardinal. I'm managing.
Well, I tell you what, let's
sorry.
no.
I
It's
don't
all
know. I'm
good.
trying to like decipher what to
Let's throw to commercial real quick.
Okay.
And then we will actually come back and
Okay.
we'll talk a little bit more about the solution
for sure
to
Yeah,
the
I would love
addiction.
that. Yeah.
All right, so we've got Max the Axe
X.
with Lone Star Injury Attorneys. If you go to thispinklawyer.com, it will take you to the Lone Star Injury Attorneys site.
Or it might not.
Yeah, no, it will.
Or it might not.
Thispinklawyer.com.
There's always a chance it might not.
Well, if you type it in correctly.
If you type it in correctly, there's still a chance it might not. Depending on your internet connection.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. Fair enough.
Yeah,
dude.
depending.
But anyway, so hit up Max the Axe. He is a great personal injury attorney. He practices in Texas and California.
Maybe.
So, no, he does. No, he does.
For sure.
Actually, he does.
But maybe.
Wait.
But for sure.
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, wait, I'm like, wait,
Dude, it would be great. No, but it would be great
That'd be sick.
if he actually was like a
was a
like a
lawyer,
drug
dude.
attorney, but he is no. Chad is not a lawyer.
No, dude. I look like a lawyer, but I'm not a lawyer.
But anyway, go to thispinklawyer.com. And then Chadwick, we've got some new songs out. They're streaming on Spotify, and then we've got some free downloads going on. So Chadwick is going to be good enough to play.
Big booty. Bounce it. Get down. Get down. Big booty.
Gonna take my time. I have all the time in the world to make you mine. It is written in the stars above. God's decree. You'll be right here by my side.
All right, dude.
And as always, if you guys like the music, I made it. If you don't, Kelly made it, and it
that's
sucks.
right. That's right. Yeah, that's that new Depeche Mode song, right?
Leche mode. Depeche mode.
Leche Mode.
Depeche
But yeah,
Mode.
actually, if you go to my SoundCloud, just soundcloud.com/Kelly Reverb, you can download the Depeche Mode for free. And then the other one is actually streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. So be sure and follow us. And if you like to buy MP3s, you can actually go on Beatport and look under Kelly Reverb, and they're right there.
They also have
So-
Beatport streaming, too.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They do.
Are you? I love that commercial that always comes on YouTube. Are you looking for the new experience on DJing?
I've never seen
you
that
never seen it.
commercial.
Yeah. Huh.
I feel like I've seen it, but I don't know.
Right. But I think I've tuned it out. So let's get back to where you
Solution
were, like
time, baby.
Well, that and then like also just like where was the clear line that hey, enough is enough.
So I think that like just and I always share this with like people, like I just think that like I had reached a point where I was like, okay, like we're like
Yeah, the bitter end.
yeah,
Right.
like no matter what, I choose to get high,
Uh-huh.
right? Like no matter what, like that is my default, right? And
Right.
so, I went to, like I said, I went to Brazos. Shout out to Brazos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you and like share with you like 10 days into being at Brazos, like my insurance got cut off, and they allowed
Which
me
happens,
and
yeah.
they allowed me to stay, which is like wonderful, right? Like I don't know that they're gonna do that with everyone, but like,
Right.
I was like showing up and I was like, what do I have to lose? You know what I mean? Like, what do I have to lose in being here, right? Like God has given me this like grace to like be here and to like get something out of this. So like, what do I have to lose?
Right.
And so I just really like I just like dug in, right? Like I was not I didn't slack, like I didn't like sleep in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was present in all groups.
Right.
He didn't
I
do
like-
what I did.
You were actively participating in your recovery.
Everyone's
because a lot of people will just go and probably like you did before, but
Most
you like those 20 times or whatever, you'll go and check boxes and
For sure.
okay, yeah, here's my dailies, whatever, blah, when do I get out of here? Whereas, it sounds like this last time that you actually, started trying to actively work the program.
Yeah, like I'm 32 years old and I've been through like 20 something treatment centers. Like
Yeah.
what is going to give?
Yeah.
Like what am I doing? Like what am I doing in these previous attempts? Like am I really trying?
Yeah.
And I was like, do I want this for my life? And so I just like I had this moment of clarity that God was like, bro, like I'm giving you another chance.
That's cool that
Like-
God calls you bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like he's like, bro, like
Bro.
I'm giving you another chance. Like
Right.
you literally like are being allowed a space to like recover.
Right.
And and like, are you gonna piss it away? Or are you gonna fucking show up and do what the fuck is like meant for you? And I was just like, I'm tapping in, you know what
You're
I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
like, and I did that, and like, bro, like it's like what happens when you are like just present and just like give a fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? And like see my mom come and like be present and just be like, I can like I can see a change in you.
Well, it sounds like
know
you
what I
got
mean,
that
bro?
gift.
Like-
No, but it sounds like you got that gift of desperation.
Yeah,
as they
like
say.
I was like so like just like beaten down with like this like recidivism of just like in and out of like institutions and hospitals and like facilities, and like I was like,
Right.
what am I gonna do to like break this? Right?
Sure.
And so like I just showed up, I listened, and I like, bro, Braz has saved my life.
Yeah.
Like it saved my life, and like Cardinal, like transitioning to Cardinal was like such a
Well, I think that's an important thing and something
Yeah.
that we can actually talk about
Yeah.
because a lot of people go to rehab, but then after they get out of rehab, it's like there is no structure unless you make that structure yourself
sure.
and start doing like 90 and 90. But even that's not enough because there's still
See a lot of
time
rehab
in
all-stars fail doing that.
there is a lot of time in between. So like, I mean, as far as going to like a Cardinal house, I think it's, you know, you're around your peers and y'all can actually, it's kind of like your built-in community. It is your built-in community, but they can call you out on your bullshit or if
Most
you're
definitely.
messing up, you know.
For
Why
sure.
don't you, I mean, so like as far as like sobriety day, like, I mean, when did you get out of Brazos?
So I left Brazos so I admitted back 1st of March
Okay.
of last year.
Okay.
And so I got out of Brazos in May. So
Okay.
like I'm coming up on a year of like being in Cardinal.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let's get a.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I left Brazos and I transitioned to Cardinal.
Okay.
And so like that was a great transition because like what I needed is like the brotherhood and like the accountability that is offered through Cardinal was like monumental, right? Like
Right.
like going from a space where accountability is like very prevalent, like Brazos, and
Yeah.
then transitioning into a sober living where the same practices are
Yeah.
like practice
Present,
you
yes.
present,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like so that was like wow, like okay, so like yes, I'm in the real world now, but also I'm like holding my brothers accountable. People are holding me accountable. Like I'm seeing truths about myself that I didn't know that were like true. I'm having guys like basically step on my toes as opposed to stepping on my grave. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
That's
hey,
good,
how are you showing up? Right? Like this is what we see, and like having that like check in was like amazing. And then like. So I was at Cardinal. I was asked to be a house manager with Archway, which I did, and then
Okay.
I was asked to come back to Cardinal to be
Okay.
a house manager. So it was like full circle, right?
Right.
But yeah, bro, like Cardinal's been wonderful. Like,
Right.
I don't know if like with my experience of being in so many different like treatment centers and like sober livings.
Well, I was going to ask you, what was like? I mean, before now, what was the longest time you've had with sobriety?
My longest stint in sobriety has been about 2 years.
Okay. Okay. And then
I'm right at I'm coming up on like 11 months.
okay.
So,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then okay. So like let's
But it's
let's
been a-
investigate. Let's investigate though. Like I mean, and so at 2 years, then did you at some point did you go, oh man, I think I'm good, dude, or what
Yeah.
happened?
I mean, I say that I had 2 years, but like I don't think that was like a true 2 years. Like I wasn't
Why do you say that?
because I wasn't doing.
You were phoning it in, dialing it in.
I was just like, so that was when I was like 19.
sure.
And so I wasn't like invested in my program.
Gotcha.
I didn't work the steps
Mm-hmm.
how they should be worked.
Right.
I wasn't like invested in helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
I just was like kind of going through the motions.
Sure.
Um,
Well, you
And
said
so, like-
you were 19, so you have a different level of maturity.
yeah,
now.
and I've had a lot of experiences since that have kind of like, bro, like,
yeah.
like I have to do something different. And so,
Yeah,
like,
I don't want to
so
be.
now-
I don't want to take around bodies in my
Yeah,
trunk
yeah,
anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And
Yeah.
so like what's happened now is like I have come to this place of like helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my end goal
Yeah.
every day is to help someone.
Okay.
So if I like can do that in my like I work in a skilled nursing facility. I help elderly. You know what I'm saying? Like I like am constantly around people that I can help.
Right.
So it's just like implementing those things in my
Well,
daily
that
life,
and you
like
can also be a
helping-
positive influence as the house manager, and also
Yeah.
helping people out in recovery as
For
well.
sure, yeah.
And sponsors and sponsees and whatnot. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I think that it's just like what I have all of these experiences, but like why am I not using them to help other people?
Right.
And so
Try
I
to
think,
save somebody some fucking time, man.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that that's where I just kind of got to this place where I was like, okay, like I can do this to help other people.
Yeah.
You know? And like it takes what it takes, right? Like I feel like I hear so many people like, oh, this time. And it's like, bro, like you're back.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking winning. 'cause
Well,
you're
you know what?
here. You know what I mean? Like who gives a fuck
The
how
thing
many
is
fucking times
like-
you've like showed back up?
Right.
Who cares if you've like relapsed multiple times? Who gives a fuck if you've like like who
Right.
cares? Like you're
Right.
here, you're showing up and you're saying I need fucking help.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I was so ashamed so many times because I was like, here I go again. You know,
Right.
like I don't know what to do, right? But like it doesn't fucking matter. Like those people that are like in those meetings that are saying like I fell again, but like I'm here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Sure.
bro, like that's winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having the courage to say that like I fell and I want to be picked back up and like I need help
Sure.
is like monumental. And like so for me, like I went through that so many times.
Yeah. Well, 20. Right.
Yeah, but I was so like scared. I was so like attached to that. Like I failed again. I failed
Sure.
again, I
Yeah.
failed again.
So you were
And, like,
you
people
were
people wanna
beating
see
up
me
beating
yeah.
yourself up over what the behavior that you were doing.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Well,
sure.
so
Yeah, that's the thing with like relapse, especially with chronic relapse. Like, and I tell that to people a lot. It's like, dude, okay, you fucked up. Cool. Like, you want to sit in it and fucking be miserable, or you want to fucking figure out what went wrong and do something different? Like, it's up to you, dude. Like, you can just
Right.
you can sit in it, dude. You can sit in it and have a great time, which is not a great time whatsoever.
right.
Right? Or like you can maybe drill a little deeper in your skull so somebody else can get through to you, and you can do what they did or they suggest. Just try it.
Right.
Just try it. That's all you got to do. Just try something new.
Well, and the other thing I was going to say is that they, any days sober, they can't take that away from you. So, that clean time that you had in that moment of, clarity or whatever, they can't take that away from you. And as long as you keep trying, then, I think it's a win, to me.
And in the beginning of that book, it says, "We hope that these pages prove so authentic that no further investigation be required."
Yep.
And it's like, dude, like I went to the end of the fucking rabbit hole, and the other rabbits were trying to get out. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that happened there,
Right.
dude.
It was
And
a
when you
turnaround point.
Yeah, it was a turnaround point. They couldn't get out either.
Right.
And like somehow, like by the grace of God, whatever you want to call it, man, I made it out. And like with people, especially I see it a lot with people who like school wasn't challenging, and then you couldn't be yourself, and then this, like all of those things, when you're an intelligent human being, they wrap up real tough, dude, when you start doing drugs, because it like turns everything fun. It's like, holy shit, dude, I'm getting one over on the world because I'm so much fucking cooler than this and that. Really just feel like shit about yourself the entire time. It's just the entire thing is a charade, and you don't know what's going on until the
And
very
it's
end.
a charade that you're doing to yourself.
Yeah, you think you're doing
Yeah.
it to other
Yeah.
people, you're doing it to
Right.
yourself, and that's the craziest part, dude. It's that delusion. Don't touch that. Dude.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
not
touch
done yet.
that.
I'm not. You're not my dad.
Anyway.
You can't touch that.
Anyway.
And dude, when you finally get over the hump and you're like, holy shit, look at this shit that I've caused in my life. And then you hit that point and it's like, I can use that for the benefit of other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, otherwise, like, what the fuck else did I go through it for? You know, it creates this new sense of purpose and like a fire that just lights on your ass. And, you know, I see you a lot out and I see you doing that, which is like the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
You know, and I see a lot of people, even when they slip, dude, like they hit the horse even harder and then they might slip again. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like I keep seeing them try.
Yeah.
Which like is the thing, because there's
Which is,
part
like-
of us that want to keep going, that want to keep going and keep trying.
Honestly, like I love seeing people like even if they slip, like coming back.
Yeah, dude.
Like because that's like my story. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Like you're giving it like you give a fuck. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you want something better for yourself.
Well,
and
I
you
have a
keep trying.
question for you.
Yeah.
So the $1 million question is what would 32-year-old Kyle tell 19-year-old Kyle? You know, like what have you learned over this time that you would tell yourself?
Ooh, I'm not gonna get emotional.
Wait, hold on,
bro,
wait, where
I'm
are
an
the
emotional
tissues?
person. No, we're good.
Somebody-
I would
yeah.
say that just like be kind to yourself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like love yourself. Like
Maybe
you're-
forgive
you-
yourself.
Yeah,
too?
like forgive yourself and like bro, like be you. Like you've tried so long
Mhm.
being somebody that you're not.
Uh-huh.
Like just be you.
Right.
Like people love you and they
Yeah.
care, people love you and they care about you because of like who the fuck you are.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that like would be my biggest thing is so it's just to like be like you're dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're dope. Like being true to yourself, being authentic, and like showing who the fuck you are
Mhm.
as a person is enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to like put on a show.
yeah.
And
Like,
that's
you don't need to
I
put on
think
a
that's
show. You don't
important
you don't
stuff.
need to put on a show, and like you can just like show up and be like your badass Kyle self, and like
Yeah.
like homie, like everyone loves you and cares about you, and like
Right.
like
you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
impress people.
yeah,
you just
know
be
what I
you,
mean?
dude.
Yeah.
And that's the ironic part, dude. It's
Yeah.
like we live we sit here and try and act like all these things so that we can get all these things that we think that we want. And the second that we abandon all that shit and then we just be ourselves, we find out that was the secret the entire fucking time.
yeah.
That was the secret the whole time. All I had to do was
Yeah.
just quit trying to be somebody else, just be me. And if
Yeah.
I'm not for some people, that's totally cool too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It doesn't fucking affect me because I know who I am.
Yeah.
And that's like the coolest thing about like recovery and sobriety is like you get to see people like figure out who the fuck they are and then just fucking nail it every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and like I think that's been my biggest like takeaway in my sobriety and like my treatment at Brazos and like everything was just like, bro, like you're dope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like tap into that and like
Well,
who
so
gives it- like,
self-love, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
loving yourself and like just like who cares what anyone else thinks about you? Like
Right.
if they tap in with you, like they tap in. Like anyone else is like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
like I'm not.
I always,
tripping,
I
you know?
always, I always say this, man. I can't make you like me, man. I can't
Yeah.
make you love me. All I can do is be my authentic self and be nice and respectful.
And you can either
everything
get on
like
board
that.
or get the fuck out, dude.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I don't like. I want to love and respect everyone, but like
Mm-hmm.
some people are just not going to be for me.
Yeah.
Sure,
And
I
that's
agree.
okay.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Like just because I'm clean and sober doesn't mean that I don't have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't have to like say that like the space that you're creating is not for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm allowed to have like boundaries and like
And adult conversations about it too.
for sure.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the fucking thing. You learn that
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like you start to learn how to be able to be like, hey, I appreciate you, I like you, and all this stuff, but like whatever you're up to, dude, like I can't be around it.
For
and then they
sure.
get pissed off, whatever, dude. And then guess what they do?
Yeah.
If they ever figure it out, they come back to you. They're like, hey, man,
yeah.
thanks for saying that.
I
shit.
got a question for you.
Yeah.
So what are some of the tools? We always talk about the sobriety tool belt.
Uh-huh.
So what are some of those tools when Kyle wants to go use? What are like what's
Bro,
the,
so
what's
I-
the hammer?
So a 10-step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
bro, like I'm gonna be real with you. Like I call someone.
Yeah.
Like I never practiced that in the past. Like
I love that.
I never
Yeah.
picked up the phone and said like, hey, like
Is
Yeah.
this
I'm-
fucking crazy?
I'm struggling, bro.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
okay to be. It's okay to struggle.
Right.
It's okay to be like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like I don't feel good. Like it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
Like
Talk
are
to
you
another
are you
human
are you
being,
are you
dude.
scared to not like my thing is like am I so scared that I'm not gonna tell someone but then I'm gonna fucking ruin my life because of it?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna just like man up and be like I don't fucking know. I'm scared and I need some direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then
it's-
like someone tells me that and I'm like, we chilling.
Yeah,
Right,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You know what
It's
I mean?
like it's like you spill your guts and then it's all of a sudden
Yeah.
and then they go, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've never used that. Like honestly, like in the 13, 14 years of sobriety of in and out, like I just never used my resources.
Yeah.
Right.
I never wanted to pick up the phone. I never wanted to have someone hold me accountable. I never wanted to like say like I don't know. I just wanted to like figure it out on my own and like figuring it out on my own has
Yeah.
got me.
The Kyle
Nowhere,
the
dude.
Kyle program.
It got figure it out on your own.
It got me fucking
It got you a
loaded.
pretty thorough step one,
Hello?
dude. That's what it did.
Yeah, so it's been a consistent like it's been years and years and years and years and like it is what it is, right? Like it took what it took.
Uh-huh.
But like I'm in an understanding of like okay, like
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
Yeah.
yeah.
It
And
makes
and I
fucking
don't,
sense.
And I don't want that for other people. Like I don't want other people to have to go
Which
through
is
that.
why you in turn start sharing it with other people to try and save them some time and some heartache, man.
sure.
It's how the
Yeah.
whole fucking world works.
Yeah.
That's like how, if you think about it, dude, like that's how humanity has made it so fucking long. Like the first guy who built a hut out of stone was probably like somebody else saw it and they were like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, I built it out of this. You should try that." We've been doing this all along, but we get so wrapped up in our own heads and our addiction, like. You know, the first person to fucking make a car, then everybody else started making cars, and then they did this, and the wheel was fucking round instead of a fucking square. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's we just if we get lucky enough in our addiction, we get to pass it on to the next guy and try and hope that all we can do is hope for the best.
Is dial it in for each
Yeah.
other and learn from experience. But I mean, I think you know that your experience of recidivism is a very important thing because there's a lot of people that come on this show that relapse, and I mean, host of the show. I'm talking like co-host of the show that have relapsed, you know, a bunch of times. And we have a good friend that his name starts with an A. That you know, I don't know if he's ever going to figure it out, man. You know, and that's the thing that's scary. It's like, what does it take, and what, you know, it's like that magic formula, and there's really not one, dude. And it really, I think what you're saying though is that it comes from effort within and wanting it, you know. So
For sure.
I mean, that's just my thoughts.
yeah, man. I'm at where I'm at.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like I'm enjoying the moment and like I'm just like so grateful for like the things that I have in place right now that are
Right.
holding me accountable.
Right.
It's nice when that phone doesn't weigh 10,000 pounds anymore, right?
It doesn't.
Right.
Like I can just call someone and be like, "Hey, like I'm feeling this type of way," and like, you know, like I have a beautiful like I have like a beautiful relationship with the guys that manage in the house. I have like a beautiful relationship with my boyfriend. Like I have never been in a place of just like complete
Content.
Yeah.
content, and I don't need to force anything.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Like everything's just
You can
like,
just be your authentic self.
yeah, and like I'm just like, hey, like, yeah, it's cool, it's cool,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't know, it's cool as fuck. Like,
Hell
I
yeah,
love
dude.
It. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
love it. I'm happy.
we
I'm just happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. You're,
Yeah.
hey, you're on that pink cloud, right?
Not the yeah,
but
for sure.
dude, yeah, I really do appreciate you being on
Yeah.
and being so authentic, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time I felt like Oprah, dude. I wanted
Really?
I wanted to get you a tissue, dude.
Oh,
I was
I'm
like-
just, dude, I just try to be like,
no, I mean,
I'm not gonna hold back that kind of stuff because like that's not true. To me,
you're
like-
being real, and it's your emotions, dude.
Yeah.
It's your
And
story,
yeah,
man.
It's
Yeah,
your story
for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah, but thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
we also give the guest a time always to shout out at the end of the program. So any shout outs you'd like
I
to
mean,
give?
I would just love to shout out Josh Jordan.
Hey,
Josh,
man.
Josh W. Jordan, everybody.
And Marty and Jody and like everyone at Cardinal House,
All right.
like Dakota, like everyone at Cardinal House is wonderful.
I call-
my best friend David, like
I
There
call-
you go,
I-
David. We know David.
I call Josh Jordan the people's champ.
yeah, like Cardinal House is like amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are really trying to get fucking well, like,
Yeah.
like come on.
And I
You
think
know what I mean?
the other important thing that you mentioned is like it's a fucking great way to transition from like basically in the middle of nowhere lockdown treatment facility. You know what I mean? It's not really lockdown, but where the fuck you gonna
Yeah.
go?
Yeah.
And then
lake.
Are you gonna walk?
to get
The-
back to
no,
like
you're gonna
real life.
walk to the lake.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like sober living and stuff is a great way to
Yeah.
like learn these human skills that other people have that we might have missed out on at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
Because I did it too when I got out of treatment, and it's like it was pretty invaluable because I got to see things. I got to see what I wanted to be, like the way that people would carry themselves and all that stuff, and I got to see exactly what I didn't want to be.
Exactly.
And I had to find like my fucking mode in between it, man. And it's it's worked so far, man. I'm gonna keep doing
That's
what works.
great. Like honestly, what you just said is like spot on. Like I really resonate with that. Like I don't like we get to kind of create. We get to like recreate ourselves.
Yeah.
And we get to like create this new life.
See what
You
works.
get
See what
a
doesn't
second
work.
chance.
Yeah. And
Or
so it's like
or a 21st chance.
Hell
yeah, and
Right?
it's like, do you want to have people on your side that are like really about you, or are you just trying to like do it on your own?
Sure.
Yeah.
What I found in like Brazos and Cardinal and just like all of it as in general, like the meetings, the groups that I go to, is just like I have a team of people that are willing to just
A healthy environment. Yeah. A healthy environment to
Yeah.
nurture your recovery.
yeah,
Right?
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, cool. Well,
right,
thanks,
brother.
thanks for coming on,
Yeah.
man. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And then Chadwick, as always, your wisdom astounds me. I was going to say your wisdom offends me, but
That's Sir Chadwick to you, asshole.
Right, Sir Chadwick the Fourth.
Sir Chadwick the Fourth,
Yeah, but thanks for coming
Duke of
on, dude.
McKinney, Texas, hailing from North Texas.
Not McKinney.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming out, dude. And
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, next week we've got something fun planned. I don't know what it is, but we might do the second Lindell
Dude,
part
what a
2 of
fucking-
Lindell. That was good,
like,
right?
dude,
that was a crazy
make that
story.
shit up,
But
dude.
please be sure and subscribe, like, share, all that kind of good stuff. And then we will see you next week. And remember, kids, there is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.
Activate.